Hello, I'm Dustin, Director of Marketing at TTI. In this video, we will be discussing ISO cleanliness codes. In today's industrial world, maintaining the cleanliness of your fluids and lubricants is crucial for the efficient operation of your machinery and equipment. That's where ISO cleanliness codes come in. ISO cleanliness codes are used to quantify particulate contamination levels and are measured in levels per milliliter of fluid, and in 3 different sizes: 4 micron, 6 micron, and 14 micron. The code is articulated as 3 separate numbers in which each number is equal to contaminant level codes for the associated particle size. These specific codes embody all particles of the defined size and larger. It is pertinent to understand that each time a code increases by the amount of 1, the number of particles grows by 2 times. Consequently, if a code is lowered by the amount of just 1, then the number of particles will decrease by half. Let's look at an example. Using an ISO code of 14129, which happens to be the TTI recommended ISO code for most servo valves, along with the standard ISO 4406 cleanliness chart, we can begin to decipher our reading. Starting from left to right, 14 represents the 4 micron channel and would indicate a particulate amount between 80 and 160 particles of contamination at the 4 micron size or larger per milliliter of fluid. Next, we look at 12, which represents the 6 micron channel and indicates a particulate amount between 20 and 40 particles of contamination at the 6 micron size or larger per milliliter of fluid. And finally, we look at 9, which represents the 14 micron channel and indicates a particulate amount between 2 and 5 particles of contamination at the 14 micron size or larger per milliliter of fluid. Now, to really understand the change that happens when an ISO code increases by just 1, let's go back to our ISO code and see what happens. Starting with 14, or the 4 micron channel, if we were to see an increase of just 1 to 15, we would see that the number of particles goes from 80 to 160 particles up to 160 to 320 particles of contamination at the 4 micron size or larger per milliliter of fluid. Next, we look at 12, or the 6 micron channel. If we were to see an increase of just 1 to 13, we would see that the number of particles goes from 20 to 40 particles up to 40 to 80 particles of contamination at the 6 micron size or larger per milliliter of fluid. And finally, we look at 9, or the 14 micron channel. If we were to see an increase of just 1 to 10, we would see that the number of particles goes from 2 to 5 particles up to 5 to 10 particles of contamination at the 14 micron size or larger per milliliter of fluid. This has been a brief discussion about ISO cleanliness codes, but remember, by regularly monitoring the ISO cleanliness codes of your lubricants and fluids, you can identify potential issues before they cause costly downtime. This allows for timely preventative maintenance and prolongs the lifespan of your equipment. We here at TTI appreciate your time and want you to know that if you need help getting your ISO codes down, then we make the filters and breathers that can help you get there. If you have any questions on this topic or any of our products, then please reach out to us at sales@toddtechinc.com or visit our website at toddtechinc.com. TTI, your total system cleanliness provider.